This is Cher from Cher's Crafting Boutique. I've decided I'm going to make a storage box, or saying storage box, it could be a jewellery box, it could be a gift box, it's got any amount of uses, and I'm making it out of this cotton wool buds box. And not everybody happens to have the circle one that I made, which was this one, and that was out of the Johnson's cotton wool buds. So I thought I'd show you how to make one out of the standard ones that you get practically everywhere. This one's actually from Asda, but you can get this shape box everywhere you go anyway, no matter what. So I thought I'd show you how to make it out of this one. So all I've done so far is taken the sticker off and gathered a few things together. I haven't decorated one of these yet before, so it's all going to be done on camera. Even if I do mess up, you'll see it all for yourself and see how I fix it if I do. So let's get started. I'll show you what I have. I don't know if I'm going to use it all, but I've got it all here anyway. I've got my hot glue, 2 seconds, because my sign has just got caught on it. And I've got this lace. It's a stretchy lace, but again, it's just a bit of scrap this is, so I've just got that together. You don't have to have it stretchy, so you use whatever you want. You could use some fabric or whatever. You do not have to use lace. I have this, which is off of a scarf that I've used on a previous video. I got this off of eBay. It has normally a lace looking scarf over the top with some sparkly glitter on. I also have some lace here, gathered lace, which is just a spare piece that I have left over. I have some flowers that was on a bunch like that I also got off eBay. These ones, which you've seen me use a few times if you've watched my previous videos, these are paper roses that I get from AliExpress. I don't know if I'm going to use them all, but I've cut all the stems off and kept them. As you know, in another video I have showed you how to use those stems to make more flowers for other projects. This is the packet they come in from AliExpress, as I've said before, but in case it's someone new watching this video. I also have this, which is a pink butterfly. I don't know if you can tell that it's pink in this light, but this comes in a chain, and I got them from AliExpress as well. I think they were £1 for about 10. I've got some little pink, pastel pink buttons, some pink tulle. Again, you may not be able to tell, so I'll show you on the reel. Some scissors, another piece of scrap lace, a reel of stiffened lace. This is off AliExpress as well. I think it was only about $1.20 for the whole reel, so you may want to go and have a look at that because it's really good value for money. The only problem is when you've got it on your table, make sure it's clear when you use it because it catches on to everything. I also have this lace, as I've used before, with the ribbon going through the middle in pink, and this gathered lace. I've got some thread aside here. I'm not actually going to be using the needle, but it was already on there. I'm going to be using this as well. Some felt. You're not going to need a lot of it, but I happen to just have it in this size sheet. Also, I've got these pearls, which came from this ivory garland from the pound shop with the little hearts on. So I just cut off the hearts, and then in between the gap of each heart I cut them off, ready to be used in this way. I have a piece of fabric. This is just a scrap piece again. I have my usual that I love using all of the time, my lace ribbon that I get from the range. This is 2 meters for £1, and they do this in white and cream. And as my daughter has told me, my pink protective rubber finger, because I burnt myself yesterday and it really hurt, but now it's fine. So I've been told to make sure that it doesn't happen again by putting that on. And I also had this, which was a cut off from another lace that I have. You've seen me use it before. And I think that covers just about everything. So I'm now going to move it all out of the way so we can get started. Right. First of all, I'm going to start with the lid. And I want to make a bow. That's why I had the thread out of the tool. Now I want it to look more fluffier, so I'm going to overlap it. Just keep turning it round. I know this is going to be a bit tough for you to see because it's hard to see the tool in any kind of light really, unless you're actually holding it. So I'm just going to take that round a few times. Let's see. Yeah, I think that's fine there. So I'm just going to cut that there. I didn't exactly count how many times there, but I've done it a few times. I think maybe it's 5 or 6 times there. And then all I'm going to do is what I usually do. Is take the thread and just twist it round there. Cut off the excess and put a little hot glue on it just to make sure that doesn't come undone whilst I do the rest. I'll leave that over there to dry for a moment. Right, now I'm going to get this piece of lace here, and all we're going to do, because we don't want to put too much glue on because it will show through the lid. So I'm going to make sure that's the right way up and just make sure it's going to cover all those edges, and we're going to glue the corners. So just going to put a tiny amount down the line of the corner. Do not need a lot for this. Just secure it enough and that it doesn't look bad on the inside. Make sure you do all 4 corners and just pull it over, and there we are. Now all I'm going to do is cut off that excess and make sure it covers over. You're not really going to see this anyway, but by the time I'm finished, so don't worry about the corners being not perfect. And even there, I haven't covered that whole thing. That's okay, because I have plans on covering this anyway, so you won't see that, so don't worry about that. There we are. That's what we have so far. Now get rid of all those excess pieces. Keep a hold of them because they'll come in handy for other things. Now what I'm going to do is stick that roughly in the center. So only a little bit of glue. Again, like I said, we don't want to use too much on this. Hold that down there. Now what I'm going to do is glue these 2 ends together on this scrap piece of lace here. Again, tiny amounts. Don't need a lot for this. And I'm going to hoop the bow for it. And then put a tiny amount of glue underneath that lace on the 4 sides here. Make sure that bows through because it's still a little bit there. There we are. Just a tiny dot of it. We do not need a lot. It's just to make sure that lace stays in place. Here we are. That's what we have so far. Now if I pop this on, which I really should have done this beforehand, but that's okay. Don't think it's going to make a bit of difference when I figure out exactly how I'm going to put it. So if I did this, I can take the middle pieces out. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut these 3 pieces out. Lift that lace up, pop it underneath there, and bring those strands round on both sides. There we are, problem solved. So all I'm going to do is run a thin amount of glue along this edge to secure the top of that, and do that all the way along. I've noticed there's a little bit of excess from the scarf on there, so I'll take that off. And there we are. Now, I'm going to pop these bows, I should say these pearls behind this bow. I'm just going to put a tiny amount of glue again. Stick that pearl there. Put another one next to it. Do the same on the other side. So now it looks like this. Now I'm going to pop this flower into the middle. Middle of that ball. And get a little flower gathering in the center here. So I'm thinking, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue, pop the pink one into the center, and a cream one on either side. Make sure that bow is lifted up a little there. like so. Let's see, let's take a look at this. Yes, I'm going to pop that scrap piece there just underneath this lace here, as far under as I can get it. Just a thin amount of glue. And that's what we have so far. Now these buttons, what do I want to do with them? Make sure that still stretches a bit, yeah. Yep, I think I'm going to pop them there. Starting with the bigger one first, in this corner. Just tiny amounts of glue. And there we are. Now all I'm going to do now is run my lace across it. So grab this and I'm just going to run that across that edge. Making sure you keep the previous lace you put on underneath all of this, underneath this as well, because otherwise it'll keep maneuvering. Just thin amount. When you come to this bit, just pull it down. And then make sure once you've overlapped it a little, cut off that excess. A little bit more glue there just to secure it. Don't want that coming undone, and there we are. Now I'm just going to pop that over the top of there, all the way around, just to give it more of a finished look. You don't have to do this, it's just what I like to do. I'm going to start where I left off. pink thing around. I'm not even using it. So used to doing it my own way. So we're doing a thin amount of glue all the way along and securing this trim down. Just like we did with the lace. In my opinion, I just think this gives it a nice finish. Makes it look more complete. But that's just my opinion. If you prefer it the other way, it's the people's preference of what you like the best. With me, I think it's just any excuse to use this trim, because like I said, it's my favourite. There we are. So that's the lid. Pop that to one side now, and now we're going to start on here. Now, as I said before, I had a piece of fabric. Well, what I've done is I turned it over, because that's the colour there, but I turned it over and drew around this, and I made sure it was slightly off, because obviously it's got to fit in, so it's a little bit smaller on each side. I'm going to get my fabric scissors to do this, as it's already been done that way. I want it to look the same all the way around. You don't have to, you can just cut off that pleat look and not have to worry about it. Remember to keep those scraps, come in handy for something else. That fits perfectly, so I'm just going to put, actually, while I do that, this has already got a sticky to the back because it had a sticker on. So I don't think I'm even going to put any glue on there. Let's have a look. No, I will, because more than likely it'll just come out and then I'll end up getting annoyed with it, so I'll put it on. It's going to get covered at the bottom as well, so it doesn't really matter. I haven't put loads on, but just a little bit to make sure it doesn't peel up. And there we are. Now, as I said before, make sure your table's completely clear if you're using this, because it can get very annoying picking everything up. So I'm going to move everything out of the way. So I'm going to hang it off that edge there so I can cut off the excess when I'm finished. I chose this because obviously the lid's got to go back on and it's got to be something thin, otherwise it won't. So I'm just going to run a little bit of glue on the corner so you can't see it very much, and then just secure that there. And I'm going to do that on each corner as I go around because we don't want too much glue. Just sort out this glue gun because it's overheating again. So, Spin and mount. Spin as you can get it, as long as you know it's going to secure it when you get to the other end. That's all we're going to do. Make sure you pull that tight because you don't want it looking loose. I'm going to wrap this round twice to give it a nicer finish. You don't have to, you could just do it the once, whichever way you think looks better for you. Make sure you push that glue down as you go, because otherwise if it makes too much of a lump, the lid won't go on. This glue out. This is the last one here. There we are. I'm just going to cut that off there. Make sure you don't cut into the other layers. Leave that to one side and then cut off this excess around the bottom. Right, so now this is what we have coming together nicely, I think. Right, I need this. What I'm going to do is run that along the bottom. Cut that off there. Yep, so we're just going to run that along the bottom edge there. But I think before I do that, I am going to do one other thing. Take my felt and get a pen and draw around this. Actually, I'm lucky enough to have the two, so to get a better proper size, I'll do that now. Really should have done that before. See, this is the point of when you're doing it without doing one previously. It's when you get to see all those little things that you could have made different. Everybody's like that. No one gets it completely perfect. Not on their first attempts. And even then, on your second can be just as bad. I'm just going to take it on the inside of that line there because I don't want it right to the very edge. more. Right, so back to what we were doing. Just get a quick drink there. So I'm going to run the glue a thin amount around that edge there. The amount of videos I've done now, I would remember to not stay in my comfort zone. I always pull things forward towards me and then you just can't see what I'm doing. And just cut that excess there. And there we have it. That's what we have so far. Now, let's take a look at how it looks. Put bits on there fine. Now, I'm going to put a little bit of glue along here. Once I get the glue gun going. Just a thin amount because I don't feel this is sitting properly. And also take a bit more of that excess off. I'm using a very thin amount here, barely anything at all, just to stop that from folding over when we put the lid on. This is the last one here. As you know, I put 2 layers on, so I'm just putting it between the layers instead of straight onto the plastic tub. Now that I've stuck that, I can see where there's some more excess, so I'm just going to cut that off. Only little bits, but that can make all the difference when you put the lid on. So let's do that. Yep, that fits on there fine now. Much better. Now, all I'm going to do now is just put a little butterfly on the side there. And I'm going to put it on that side. Make sure all of that's hanging out right. There we are. Now I'm going to put the felt on the bottom, and then that is done. way around. And there we have it. Pop that all back up again. I just think that looks adorable. Perfect as a gift. Again, you can use it as a jewellery box. You can use it as storage on your desk. You can give it to someone as a gift. There's so many different options for this. Thank you for watching. Please like, share and subscribe to my channel. I also have a Facebook page called Cher's Crafting Boutique, where we all get to take pictures to inspire other people. Please come along and check that out. Thank you. Bye.